Jose, thank you very much for being here today. It's a pleasure speaking to you. But before we go to the questions, I want to ask you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more details about what Tamayo Desarrollos do in Mexico, please.
And Tamayo Desarrollos is a unique development company in Mexico because they started as a land bank and then became a developer. And I think we have a lot of insight that we can provide to the GRI community.
You guys do pretty much everything from land acquisitions up to the end of the supply chain by selling the product at the end. What are the challenges of being involved in every single step and also the benefits of such an integrated approach?
As I mentioned, Tamayo Desarrollos started as a land bank, then a developer. And the more variables you get into the project, the most changes you're gonna receive. So you have to adapt. We have one saying in the company that the leaders are more like firefighters than executives on the projects because when you start working on the development side, there's a lot of issues that goes outside of planning. So I would say that once you integrate vertically, uh, you have to adapt better to the changes, the political landscape. But the benefits of that is that you can react faster. You get experience project by project, and that makes you more efficient in making decisions with the right amount of information and not wait to have their all of the information to make a decision because that's probably gonna affect the project if it takes too long.
And when it comes to acquisition opportunities, what criteria do you use to choose the right opportunities? It's such a competitive market. How do you pick the right one?
Yeah, well, the real estate market it's tough. We try to focus on niche markets and financial models with innovation. So we try to find those locations that can give us that. We don't want to be involved in big competitors and all of those big real estate companies. So we select the city where we can get this financial or real estate innovation and those places where we have the right political contacts because it's as we heard in the conference that we had, it's really important to understand what's going to happen with the government and the regulations.
Jose, you touched on a very important point. You talk about cities or locals that bring the right mix of elements that will impact the performance of the project. If you had to pick a couple of locations in Mexico, what would be your favorite locations nowadays for your projects?
One of the ideal places it's Nuevo León because of the it's really close to United States, but it's a difficult state to navigate in real estate. So I think that for me and what we have done in Tamayo Desarrollos, it's going to Bajío region, which is Querétaro, San Miguel de Allende, because it's really close to Mexico City. So you have 25 million potential customers over there, and there's political stability. They understand, they plan for the future. They are not thinking of the next 6 years and 6 years. So they have this infrastructure and public investment plans that help us make the right decision when we decide where to develop or where to acquire certain properties.
You'll be here in one of the sessions in New York talking about co-investment, joint venture, and what's your taking on such a topic? Do you see as something that can definitely impact the results of a project? How do you go about building JVs or doing co-investments?
Yeah, actually, I think I'm here because I'm an example of that. I have my real estate company and I partner up with Tamayo Desarrollos because we complement each other. So there's always a lot of variables when you start working on equity distribution, who's gonna provide the capital, who's gonna put up the land. And something that we find useful is also giving the right value to the straight capital. Who's gonna be doing the work of that project? But I think that the key element in JBs and co-investments is you need to complement. If you are two pieces that are good at the same, it's going to be tough to make decisions. And one of the partners, if it's two partners or three or four or five, one of them has to understand the local political landscape. How are you going to navigate regulations, understand where the infrastructure is it's going? And I think that's a really powerful partner that I have in Tamayo Desarrollos because he really understands those regions where we develop.
Jose, thank you very much.
Thank you, Gustavo. Thank you.